WQOW. This is Eau Claire Zone News 18 live at 5.
Thanks for joining us live at 5. I'm Keith Edwards.
And I'm Shannon Hoyt. It's the day we've all been anxious for, Election Day.
We have team coverage for you tonight, all night long.
Now, the presidential election is underway across the country and here in the Chippewa Valley. Voters have been casting their ballots since 7 a.m. McKenna Alexander joins us now from Bethesda Lutheran Church in Eau Claire, one of today's polling places. McKenna, what's it looking like over there?
Well, Bethesda poll workers tell me that this morning it was crazy with how many people were coming out to vote, likely before work. Then they say it slowed down, but now since we've been here for a couple minutes, I'm assuming that as people are getting out of work, that's the reason for the influx. You can see another line is forming, luckily not too long as we've seen on national news, but still are getting a little bit of a 15-20 minute wait. Now everyone is wearing masks, social distancing is in place, everyone's using hand sanitizers, so definitely making sure to keep everyone safe if they do choose to vote in person today. Again, there's really no line if there is inside. There's just 1 to 2 people. So really quick and simple. Whenever you do come in, everyone's asking if you have any COVID symptoms, taking precautions, of course. And then you're in, you vote, and you are out. Now, if you are not registered to vote, you can also do that here. So really plenty of time for you to still get out and vote. And also, as I've been here, I've noticed a lot of younger voters than in previous years. So definitely following that trend of lots of voter turnout on the increase. We've also seen plenty of people counting those absentee ballots. Over 2,000 have been counted so far at this location. Keith, Shannon?
All right, thanks, McKenna. Well, if you need to register to vote, just bring proof of residence and a Wisconsin-issued ID or passport, and you can register and vote at the same time.
Dozens of people at a time are waiting to cast their vote in Menominee, and many of them are doing so for the first time in a pivot county. Katrina Lim joins us now at UW Stout, which is located in one of those swing counties. Katrina, what can you tell us?
Menominee is in Dunn County, which is one of 206 pivot counties across the nation and one of 5 in our area.
We are back with more election coverage tonight.
In the days to come, News 18 will keep you updated on results online and on air of over 100 races.
And right now, we are going to take a look at races for state congressional seats, the state assembly vote, and even some local races. So let's start with the 3rd congressional race. Democrat incumbent Ron Kind challenged by Republican Derek Van Orden. Kind has represented the district since 1997. Van Orden is a retired Navy SEAL. And with 1% of the vote in, very, very, very small numbers so far, Van Orden is leading Kind 57% to 43%. But again, a cautionary word there. That's a very small segment of the total vote there. The 3rd congressional district encompasses much of western Wisconsin. And Donald Trump won this district in 2016 with 49% of the vote compared to Hillary Clinton's 45%.
Let's move to District 7 now. This is Republican incumbent Tom Tiffany running against Democrat Tricia Zunker. And as you can see, and as what Keith said, small amount of the vote being reported right now, only 1%. Tom Tiffany is leading. But again, we are still waiting for more of that vote to come in.
Thank you for choosing News 18 for your election coverage. I'm Keith Edwards.
And I'm Shannon Hoyt. Right now, we've got more results coming in for state congressional races, the state assembly votes, and even local races.
Let's begin with the 3rd congressional race. Democratic incumbent Ron Kind challenged by Republican Derek Van Orden. 23% of the vote is in right now, and statistically, they are tied. Kind just has actually pretty close vote there. Maybe 50 votes separate the two candidates in the race so far. Again, that's with 22% of the vote in for the 3rd congressional district, which encompasses much of western Wisconsin.
Well, results are pouring in, but races are far from being called. Let's bring in an expert to help us analyze the historic election. This is Jeff Peterson with UW Eau Claire, political science expert. Jeff, thank you for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure, Shannon.
So tell me, let's start with the big race. Some states have already been called for Biden and Trump, and no big surprises so far. What states will be watching to help decide this winner? So what big states should we keep in mind?
Oh, well, there's a bunch of them out there. You know, part of the problem we have is that because of COVID, we really don't have good exit polling. And so we have to wait until actual vote totals come in before we can make any projections. And so states that normally we might be able to make a call on because we have exit polling are still sitting out there.
Results are continuing to come in. Let's take one more look at the biggest races impacting us here in western Wisconsin.
Of course, no race is being watched any closer than the presidential race. Here's a look at the electoral outlook right now. We have 65% of votes tabulated across the nation. Biden has 209 electoral votes, Trump 118. The popular vote tied 49% between the two leading candidates. Of course, 270 electoral votes are needed to win. In 2016, President Trump received 304, while Hillary Clinton got 227. Now, in Wisconsin, Trump won the state in 2016. He had 47.2% of the vote. Right now, with 72% of the vote in, he has 52% of the vote compared to Joe Biden's 47%.
Now switching now to congressional races. Democratic incumbent Ron Kind is challenged by Republican Derek Van Orden, and as you can see, about 48% of the vote being reported. Ron Kind leading with 51% to Van Orden's 49%. Kind has held this district's seat since 1997.
Donald Trump actually won that district with 49% of the vote in 2016. Moving on to District 7 now. Republican incumbent Tom Tiffany has been declared the winner of his race against challenger Tricia Zunker. This is the largest congressional district in the state. Tiffany was actually elected in May of this year in a special election. He defeated Tricia Zunker in a race after Sean Duffy resigned. Moving now to local assembly races, we start with Assembly District 91, which covers Eau Claire County and a small portion of Chippewa County. Jody Emerson has been declared the winner. She is the incumbent, defeating Charlie Walker. All of the vote is in. Emerson with 62% of the vote. Now to Jesse James' fight to hold on to his assembly seat that covers parts or all of Eau Claire, Chippewa, Trempealeau, Jackson, and Clark counties. With 89% of the vote in, James is leading Emily Berge 61% to 39%. Now some numbers from the District 67 race that covers parts of Chippewa and Dunn counties. Rob Summerfield, the incumbent, leading Chris Kapsner 67% to 33%, and that is with 78% of the vote in. Now, a reminder, we are also constantly updating the vote totals as they come in all of the races. Go to WQOW.com.
On this Wednesday morning, we're updating you now on results for the race for the District 3 seat currently held by longtime Congressman Ron Kind. You can see here with the results on your screen, this is a district that Donald Trump has won in 2016, and right now 99% of the precincts are reporting incumbent Ron Kind is in the lead with 51% of the vote. And Derek Van Orden, his Republican challenger, is at 49% of the vote.
From WQOW, this is Eau Claire's own News 18 Daybreak.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katie Frenetton.
And I'm Stephanie Rodriguez. We start this morning with the results still coming in overnight and throughout this morning. And
let's take a look at the race, starting with electoral votes for the President of the United States. We're getting a look here, and so far only 88% of precincts are reporting, and it is pretty much a dead heat. Joe Biden getting 50% of the vote. President Donald Trump getting 48% of the vote. This means Joe Biden does have 238 electoral votes, and Donald Trump has 213.
Let's take a look at the popular vote here in the state. As you can see, in the country, as you can see, Joe Biden winning with 50%, but we only do have 88% of precincts reporting. Now he's only ahead by about 2 million points there from the president, from 66 million to 68 million. Now, you likely remember that in 2016, Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes. However, she did lose the Electoral College by a wide margin, 227 votes compared to President Trump's 304.
And now we're going to take a look at here in Wisconsin. This is a very tight race that the nation is looking at right now. We have 98% of precincts reporting, and it is a dead heat again, 49% to 49%. Only a few thousand votes are the difference between Joe Biden and President Trump. You can see here that we are still waiting some results. Reports are coming out still from Brown County, which is where Green Bay is. They are still tabulating some of the absentee ballots.
We are continuing to follow dozens of races that do impact you on WQOW.com. There is an election results banner on the homepage, or you can look for the elections tab, and that's if you hover over the word news, that will pop up for you there.
Well, let's take a look at what is really making headlines here this morning. First, we're going to take a look at the presidential race for with the electoral votes. We can have that up here. You can see now that Joe Biden is still at 238. President Donald Trump still at 213. This hasn't moved in the past few hours, but states like Pennsylvania have taken a break of counting, so we won't know official results for some time.
Good morning. We're continuing our election coverage here at News 18. Looking at Assembly District Race 91, we have Democratic incumbent Joni Emerson, who was challenged by Republican Charlie Walker. As you can see there on your screen, Emerson did retain her seat with 62% of the votes going in her favor, while 38% went to Charlie Walker. Again, Emerson was first elected in 2018 and did win her second term. Now, this district covers Eau Claire County and a small part of Chippewa County. Now, Emerson took to Facebook to thank her supporters.
Thank you to the voters. I am absolutely humbled by your faith in me. I can't promise that we're always going to agree, but I can promise that I'm always going to listen to you and that I'm going to do my best to represent you in Madison.